All right, we're Black Box Radio and Ngozi from Philly. Say hi to the people, sis.
Well, hello, everybody. What's going on? This is definitely Ngozi, aka Ngozi at night, the stud with the sexy voice.
Absolutely. So what does that mean? You guys came for us. What does Ngozi at night mean?
Well, it means I talk about all things dealing with the human sexuality, but not as sterile or medical. It's just more like just human nature, just being and loving people in a sexual manner, and it also deals with relationships, and it also talks about I also talk about various things like sex shaming, slut shaming, all of that, male, some male sexuality, because since I'm not a male, I don't know like all the ins and outs of male experience, if you will. But what I do is that I do talk to in a way to like any men that are listening, regardless of your sexuality, to kind of like delve into yourself and being more fluid with your sexuality, in terms of being okay with accepting certain things that you may think is taboo in the bedroom. So it's, and especially with heterosexual men, a lot of times, they don't like to be touched a certain way because that's girly, or that means you're gay man or something like that, or you have gay tendencies. And sometimes I don't talk about it all the time, but sometimes I have conversations, and I feel like if we all learn sexual fluidity in the bedroom with our partner, with a consenting adult, I think a lot of the things that we deal with, if something comes up publicly, I really believe that we wouldn't be so quick to judge and to shame someone for liking what they like in the bedroom.
Absolutely.
So,
because you're doing it too. Sure. How you gonna be mad at somebody else if you're doing it?
It's called being a hypocrite.
Yeah, you got
very much so. And but you know what? It's funny because I was talking to a guy, a friend of mine. I think it was like day before yesterday, and let me just say this: being a woman who is, a lesbian woman, the thing that baffles me is when a straight male says to me, well, you haven't been with a man that did it right. Okay. And all this stuff, right? So then I said to this guy, I said, well, what if a gay man said that to you? How would you feel? And then it clicked for him. And he said, okay, I understand where you're coming from now. I said, yes. I said, that's the equivalency there.
That was an example, family. Wow.
Huh?
I was telling family, that's an example. You blew into the Rona report. You gave it to them. That's a lot. Wow.
Yeah. So, I'm not going to, I know we want to talk about the Rona report and everything like that and get into that, but I just wanted to give you like a little bit of stuff that I try to bring to the forefront when having conversations with men, and especially men who have that ego. And it's not just heterosexual men. There's some gay men too that have that same ego and that same thought process.
They're just men.
Yeah, and believe it or not, there's some women. There's some women too, whether they're heterosexual, whether they're bisexual or lesbian, whatever, that have that same egotistical mindset. And see, the other thing too, when I say egotistical, some people automatically assume male. But because that's the first image we see is male and their egos, because a lot of times the ego is usually a masculine energy. So sometimes people don't connect ego with women as easily unless she has a male, very masculine energy.
Got it. Wow.
So
you're giving us a little a little teaching. We feel like we're in school right now, but that's Ngozi at night. So is there a way, is that still going on? Are you still doing those talks? Is there a way for people to get in touch with you so they can tune in? Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, I've taken a hiatus on it due to like different dynamics that's taking place.
Mm-hmm.
So when I come back, I will definitely let y'all know so you can give the word out
Okay.
because I miss doing it. But, you know, dynamics change and I kind of, you know, was like, you know what, I need to pull back a little bit because when I talk about these subjects, I come up with these, you know how it is when y'all getting y'all format together and coming up with things y'all want to ask someone and, you know, how y'all want to, you know, put certain questions out there and everything like that. And for me, it's not just, audio is also video for me. So I'm actually looking at people and talking to them.
Mm.
So if I'm not feeling myself, sometimes it can kind of like maybe go, you know what, I'm not going to do it today because most of when I do my shows, I'm, you know, I got the facial expressions going and, you know, I'm, you know, just being all kinds of, you know, witty with it.
No, you gotta have your ego out and your arrogance out a little bit.
You know, I don't know. It's showmanship. It's
Yeah,
not.
it's a performance.
Yes, definitely.
Really?
Oh yes, definitely. Because anyone that the amazing part about it is that people when they do talk to me, they're like, "Wow, you're not." You know, it's like, okay. Let me say this: when I'm on there doing my thing, even if because I've had women flirt with me, some guys, you know, I don't take it and run with it,
Mm-hmm.
and definitely not running with it outside of the show.
So you shuts it down.
Oh, of course, because this is all a performance. It's nothing. It's nothing for me
It's like
to
turning the switch. You know, people don't know when you sit in this chair and you start interviewing. It's a switch.
Oh, definitely. And
You
it's and that's why I have to be at my wonderful self because I bring the energy to these people when I'm doing, especially with video. Audio, you can get away with some things,
True.
you know, because you can still show the reflection in your voice and what have you. However, when you're doing video, it's, you know, it's a little different. You have to be more.
It's really real.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and people, you know, you hear people commenting and stuff like that, like, oh, look at your smile, or okay, look at your hair. You get what I'm saying? So, okay, I like your shirt, like your earrings, like your various things like that. So,
Okay.
you know, so when I decide to come back, excuse me, when I decide to come back, it's gonna be full force. It really is. That's why it's like, you know, when I bring it, I'm gonna bring it.
And I believe that because I can hear it. So let's get into like, what do you do professionally, and how did this virus kind of affect that? Because we hear what you do for fun, we hear passion, so and your hustle. So what do you do professionally?
Well, professionally, I'm just I do gigs, side gigs. That's what I do. Professionally, I have a couple things that I do. You know, I do some photography, some directing, like plays and film and stuff like that. Not a lot. I don't have no whole catalog or anything like that. I'm not on the, you know, the IMDb. No, I'm not doing that yet. Not yet. But
and what is that? I am what?
IMBD. It's where
the directory, where entertainment industry directory.
Oh,
like if you have a role, a recognized role, like a guild role or whatever in a production, then you get a listing in IMDb.
So it's like a credit or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes, it's sort of like Carfax.
Yeah, it's receipts. It's receipts for like work that you did.
I get it.
Exactly. So you get to know what's like, oh, okay, so you on IMDb. Okay, you know, so but it's funny because now it's almost kind of like anybody can get on it, even if they're not professionally like, you know, like a major star.
Right. Yeah, it depends on the project. It doesn't have to be a big project. It just has to be a project that's registered, and if you participated in it, then you can be listed for that project.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I mean, even if it's a web series, if it's done, if it meets certain requirements, it can be listed in IMDb.
Yep, that's true. And so for me, like right now, you know, I do like the shopping. So I shop and stuff for people.
Okay.
And I deliver packages.
So you straight hustle.
Well, because especially what's going on now, I think that, and I know that this is probably the best thing for people to be able to do if they have no other choice but to work. Now, I wouldn't say people go out and do it just because of the money, but if it's necessary, definitely you have to do it. And especially what's going on with this, the situation, and this. I've never experienced this since I've been on this earth. And so, we've heard rumors, and not even rumors. I'm going to take that back. We've heard the different things like the
Ebola,
SARS, all these different things.
All of that stuff.
Right. And this was like, in the past few years, correct? Yep. And it managed not to, here in the States anyway, it managed to be kept kind of at a certain level where we didn't have to go through this pandemic at this point. So for me, initially, I was driving, doing the ride sharing, and I was, once again, like I said, delivering packages, and I was waking up 4:00 in the morning and, not getting back to bed to sleep until I would wake up 2:30 in the morning, wouldn't get back to sleep until about 10 p.m. in the evening, and then back up like 2:30 in the morning, just so I can get to doing deliveries at 4 in the morning. And that was before this whole pandemic started. And then as time went on, I started doing the shopping and stuff like that. I enjoy it. It feels like I'm shopping for myself. And this is the thing that I notice, is that I have more people concerned about me out here providing for people, especially people that weren't getting outside anyway before this even started. Now I'm hearing people, well, money isn't everything, da 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 da. I'm like, yeah, that is true. Health is wealth. However, before this took place, no one was concerned about health. Okay. So, and I'm not upset at people who, and I'm not talking about people that know me. I'm talking about like just people, period. Making comments, and I never thought when someone say stay safe, I never thought that would make me cringe. Because I hear it constantly.
All day, yeah.
I hear it via text messaging from the customers. I hear it just walking down the street. I hear it if I go to get my tire fixed. I hear it every day, at least 30 times a day.
The human is really concerned right now. And that tells you it's a mantra, safety. Because we're in that space of chaos and being fearful.
And I totally understand that. My thing is that it's sort of like when people say things like, I'm gonna pray for you. And think about how I spoke. Think about how I said that.
Yeah.
Does that sound like they're gonna bring goodness to the prayer?
I'm a bad person, and I need
right. It's not coming from a sincere place. It's almost like a reflex.
Exactly. So there are times when I hear it, when someone say, stay safe, it's almost like you're just saying that.
Yeah.
You're saying it, and you almost like, it's almost an undertone of you're gonna like undertone that you're not gonna be safe.
Yeah,
right.
Happen to you.
It's almost like some veiled hate in it.
Absolutely, and so that's what I mean by I cringe.
Yes, that's shade.
Because my thought process is, are you just saying it because it's the thing to say? It's almost like
hey, you ordered this, yo. Somebody had to bring it to you.
Right. And even then, even outside of them, it's because I don't want it to be like, there's no sincerity in customers saying it, but it's just across the board.
Yeah.
It's almost like when someone says to me, or anyone, I've heard this a lot of times, like when someone posts something on social media and, prayers up, or, what's the other one? My condolences. I'm so sorry. Those responses are so ingrained in us to say, we're saying it being polite.
That's true.
And
But
so
that's where we at, unfortunately. And it's happening to, I mean, everyone's doing it. I even
right.
find myself doing it, but not, it's coming, but I really am concerned about some of the things I see out here.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that I'm not concerned about other people's well-doing or well-being and health. And I'm not saying there's people that's not thinking the same way. I'm just saying sometimes, like, I don't always say good morning. I might say hello.
Yep.
I don't always say I love you because someone says it back.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't always.
You hit him with "That's what's up."
Would you say?
I love you. That's what's up.
No, I don't say that either. I go, oh, okay. I go, okay. If somebody say I miss you, I don't always say it back because it's not that I don't miss the person. It's just I don't feel it necessary to say it.
That's not what you're feeling right at that moment.
Exactly. And it doesn't mean I don't love them. It doesn't mean I don't miss them. Because when I miss you, I miss you. When I say I miss you, it doesn't bother me if you don't say it back. So I actually did a show called Echoes and Mirrors. And it was about, do you echo and mirror your relationship? So when someone says stuff like, I love you, you go, I love you, you say it back. You know what I mean? Do you do that? If they, move to the left, do you move to the left with them? Because you feel like that you have to reciprocate in that way. Is it a legitimate feeling?
Yeah, it's almost human behavior though. When someone says something, you kind of regurgitate it and say it back.
No, it's not. It's not a human behavior. It's a taught.
It's a learned behavior.
It's taught. It's you teach some. You have to teach. It's sort of like when someone says "Happy birthday," thank you, right? Or if someone says something or give you something, say thank you. Thank you.
But you don't really mean it?
Sometimes you don't. Because it depends on who's giving it to you. It depends on who's giving it to you.
Okay, I hear you. You're right.
Okay, let me give you an example. Let's say like you're younger, your kid, and someone that you don't like. It could be an aunt, uncle, cousin, whatever. They might have did something wrong to you, right? And kids, they feel things, right? And then it's like, oh, uncle whoever gives you $1, whatever, and you're looking at them, and a lot of times you ain't supposed to give it back because that's being rude, correct? So give your uncle a hug or give him a kiss or say thank you. So you do it knowing that the person isn't really being genuine giving you this thing. And so certain things that take place, our natural response is to just say thank you, whatever, because you don't want to be considered rude.
Yep.
Well, there's another way of looking at that too. That maybe think about this. If you aren't experiencing the gratitude, and at the flash moment that it happens, if you take a second and consider it, then that gratitude might be an authentic response. A lot of times, if you're responding in a knee-jerk way because you're not feeling it in the moment, maybe you're not really being present yourself at that time. So if there's a person that you love and they say, I love you, and that's not what's happening for you right now, if you take a second, then you can authentically reply with, I love you. If you come into that moment and think about the context of that connection with the person.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so
you better
just reflecting it back automatically is inauthentic. But if it is a true thing for you, and if they say it and that brings you present in that moment and causes you to examine exactly what that person means and how you feel about them in general, then that loving feeling will come up and it can be an authentic reply.
Oh, no doubt. And that's totally, absolutely on point.
So that's the same with gratitude or anything that is something that is generally true. It's really about mindfulness in the moment of your connection with people than the words themselves.
Absolutely.
So I think the thing that kind of with your level of perception and the things that I see in sort of the way that you've described your work on all different levels, authenticity is very important for you.
Very. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. My apologies.
Yeah. So we're often, so that's and a lot of people aren't used to being present in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the words, and it's not the, it's just the inauthenticity. And I don't think you ever necessarily have to be rude in any situation in order to authentically reflect at what you were feeling in the moment. And you can be truthful,
Mm-hmm.
But the issue is that most people aren't present when, everybody's on autopilot.
Okay.
And and
RONAreport. Hey.
and
You
also
guys
too,
are getting so deep. We got to go back to the RONAreport. We got to.
no, we are. No, I'm great. I'm going to bring it back.
Okay.
When I'm doing this for people that need it, especially now in this particular situation with the COVID. Am I allowed to say that?
Of course. That's what we're doing. COVID-19.
COVID-19. I will say this. I definitely, am doing it because I know it is a need for people that need this help,
Mm-hmm.
need someone that's willing to, to some extent, people say risk their lives to go out and get things for people that wouldn't go out, could not go out for themselves. And I'm talking about people that have, that are immune compromised. I'm talking about people that cannot walk,
Mm-hmm.
people that, they can't even go outside because they're allergic to the sun. You have people like that.
Sure.
You have people that are elderly that can't, that if they go out, they really can't get their bearings to like make the correct decisions.
Yep. And because you're saying you're providing a very essential service, and you are, right?
I believe I am. I feel weird saying that, to be honest.
You are. You're providing an essential service. Let me tell you something. If you don't eat, you can't get out, sis, and you don't eat, and someone's not shopping for you, you're going to perish.
No, I totally understand that.
Essential service.
And I totally understand that. But, I guess because I'm not selfish, greedy. I don't know. It's a word that I'm trying to get, where to me, I don't know. I feel somewhat guilty because I am getting paid to do this. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if I was doing this without any money coming in, then I feel like I'm really making a difference. I know that sounds weird to some people. And I know, there's people out here that are risking their lives and they're getting paid for it and everything like that on a day-to-day basis. But I just feel, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just this, I'm in this limbo of energy when it comes to the essential piece.
Well, you're doing essential service and you're doing a great thing. So since you can't embrace it, I'm going to embrace it for you. We're going to embrace that for you. So I just gave you an essential hug.
Oh, I appreciate it. Now, I will say that, in January of this year, I got really, really sick because, we want to bring this to this whole COVID thing. And it's being said that this has been out probably since November. Some people are saying, some people saying sooner than earlier than that.
Yep.
And in January, I got really sick. Now, I'm the kind of person that when I get sick, I can keep it pushing, sick and all, coughing, whatever. Okay. I don't take off unless it's really necessary. Right. And so I'm sick and I'm hacking up a lung, dry cough, the whole nine. I couldn't understand what was going on because I've had the flu before. I've even had a touch of bronchitis. I've had pneumonia, but this didn't feel right. It felt really, really weird. It was the weirdest feeling I ever felt, having a cold. That's what I thought. And I remember it going away because I'm not one to go to the doctors for stuff like that, because sometimes you go in there, it feels like you get sicker to me. That's just me. And so I go and I didn't go. I'm staying at home and I'm like, what is going on with my body? So then all of a sudden it felt like it went away. I kid you not, probably 2 days later, it came back stronger than ever.
Wow.
than
How'd you get
ever.
over it? I mean, you just
Oh,
would you
well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
what did you do to like get over it? I mean, did you take a lot of because if it was COVID, you had to you didn't know it. So you did what kind of therapy did you do? Like tea and just regular like cough stuff and
Um,
Theraflu and
well, I didn't do any over the counter medications.
oh yeah? Wow.
No. What I did was, first and foremost, I constantly kept going into the bathroom and taking a shower and being in the steam. Because I
Okay.
wanted to keep the phlegm loose so I can get it out of my system. And this is before this whole COVID thing. It's something that, when you get mucus and stuff in your body, the best thing to do is get it out. Don't eat anything that can cause mucus. Just get it out your body. Okay.
Mm,
So I was doing a lot of steaming,
okay.
like getting in the tub, letting that water run, sitting down in it, letting the shower go, you know, keeping it warm in there because I was like, because I felt like I got to get this stuff, I got to expel all of this out of me.
Mm,
Okay. And so when I needed to spit, a lot of times we don't want to spit. We just cough, cough, cough. And a lot of times we don't find places to spit if we're out in public. If I had to go out to my car, I had something that I always carried with me so I could spit in there because I refused to let it keep going back into my system. So I
wow.
kept spitting it out, spitting it out. When I slept a certain way so it could just come out. So it was like, I was doing whatever it took. The other thing too, at some point, my coughing was getting worse and worse every day. It got to the point it was hurting me so bad because it was dry.
Mhm.
It was one of the worst. I was literally, I don't know if anybody's ever did this, but this is what I do. If I'm coughing that bad, I'm literally fighting in the air as if I'm fighting myself. Cause I'm like, because I'm coughing. I'm like, ugh, because it's bothering me and it's making me feel so out of sorts because this coughing is so, it was just vicious. It was vicious. And it wasn't just, and it was like this weird tingle in my throat.
So
And it
how
just
long?
seems,
Like
huh?
how long? 2 weeks?
Oh, it was almost a month. It was
Um,
almost a month.
so you had this for and you fought it at home.
I fought it at home. I
Uh,
do believe that people do better fighting it at home than trying to go into a hospital.
well, I think that you might have had I can't say what you had, but that sounds serious. Really serious.
It was crazy. And then I drank this stuff. So then I was like, okay, I was drinking, I started, reverting to the ancestors, to my grandmama, right? And I was talking to her and I'm like, Grandma, I'm trying to remember how I used to make this stuff. So I was drinking, I was taking bits of garlic, bits of ginger, making a tea, drinking that. And I drink the bits and all. I didn't care, right?
Mhm.
And then I was like, something's not quite hitting this. So then I go to this place to get these herbs, and it was stuff called lung care. That's what it's called. And it had stuff like white bark. It had cayenne pepper.
Mhm.
Smells so good too. Oh my God, this stuff smells so good. And I kid you not, I drank it. And that was the first night I didn't cough.
Look at that herbs. Them herbs, honey.
Right. And I got it's like a powder. It wasn't like the leaves, it was a powder. So that way it can really be, when you soak it, a lot of it goes into, so you still had a lot of that, a lot of the remnants in
BC
that
powder?
tea.
Like a BC powder like that? Like you
Well,
pour
not a BC powder. Well, it looks like a BC powder. Yeah. Like, yeah,
yeah.
but like for the headaches and stuff. Yeah. It looks like this. It's just like that kind of powder.
Wow.
And
Called lung care.
it's called lung care. Yes. And I
Mm.
drank it. And so I didn't have a coughing fit that night. And I kept drinking it. And I think like 2 days later, it was like I never had anything.
Wow.
Oh,
That's
and also it made me go to the bathroom, if you know what I mean.
number
Well, I mean, what could you mean? What else
number
could you mean?
what you mean? Number 2 is on you.
It's number 2 is on you, So,
Good. You gotta get rid of stuff, so that's a part of getting rid of it.
oh, absolutely. I mean, growing up, that was the
Do
thing
and
that people
spit.
did was,
Use that.
growing up in the Black community, enemas was one of the things that they did when you got a cold.
It's a cleanser.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Absolutely. So
um,
that's a good thing. Listen, you gave us a Wow, you sound like a COVID patient that's not a COVID patient. So, I mean, that's amazing. So I'm very glad that you recovered.
Mm-hmm.
But we're at a part of the interview where we do the last will and testament. And that's where you just leave something like a jewel for the people, like an inspirational hug, a virtual hug, so they can, feel inspired. So leave Ngozi's jewel.
Right now, we're in survival mode, and it's very scary. What I would say to folks is that, yes, you have to survive, but in order for us to survive, we definitely have to still take care of each other. So it doesn't hurt to be a little more kinder, a little more gentler. It doesn't hurt to do the virtual embrace. Educate folks, not make people who are suffering from this feel like they are alone, because they are already alone in most instances if they're not home with family that can care for them. Any information that you have for someone or any information that you know, don't ridicule people who don't know. Teach them. Because when you teach people the correct way, you'll be surprised how it comes back to you and will help you later. We're in a time where we need to join forces and be active in making sure that we can get through this. Right now, a lot of us are not doing that. We're still thinking for self, and we're not even something as small as putting on a mask has brought out so much hatred and it's brought out a lot of things that we just I just wish people would we just need to come together. Forget about what you were mad about yesterday or before this happened. We need to come together, because if we don't, this is going to get way worse than where we at right now. It's going to get way worse. If I keep going, I'm gonna get deeper. So I'll do that.
Awesome. I'm telling you, awesome. G.
Thank you so much, Ngozi, for sharing your experiences with us and your talent and your hustle and your drive and your insights. We really appreciate having your voice as a part of this important work.
I appreciate y'all even including me in this. I think this is awesome. I think that everybody needs to be heard about this. The fact that y'all are doing this, I think is an awesome thing, to archive this, to have something that people can, look back on. One for the history books, if you will.
And for our listeners right now, if you've enjoyed this conversation, you can find all the voices of the Rona Report at blackboxradio.com. That's BLAKBOXXRADIO.com. You can also find Black Box Radio on Facebook and Instagram at Black Box Radio, on Twitter at BoxBlack, that's BOXXBLAK. And please share this conversation with your friends and family so that we can get the word out and everyone can hear these important voices.
All right. We're in that Rona Report. We just had Miss Ngozi. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for your input. Like G said, your hustle. You're so insightful. We really appreciate your addition to the Rona Report.
I appreciate y'all bringing me in.
All right, so this is Black Box Radio. We're in the Rona Report. We just had Ngozi. It is 5/6/20. We out. Peace.